For this video, I'm sharing with you guys a simple way to budget for beginners. Let's get started.
Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. I'd like to do a quick introduction since this is the first video that I will be sharing with you guys. Hello. Once again, my name is Delia Mireya. On this channel, you'll find videos such as planning for the future. That could be budgeting, meal planning, budget envelopes or envelope stuffing, ideas that will help you save money. I really want to help you guys out. Once I discovered this budgeting system, I wanted to share it with you all. Let me tell you a little bit of a backstory of myself. I'm in my mid-30s. At a very young age, when I was 18 years old, my dad told me to get a credit card, which I did, and I started to establish my credit. That went pretty well, except for the fact that throughout these whole years till my mid-30s, I have been in debt. I know it's embarrassing to share this with you guys and to realize that I've gotten to this point. It's just so easy to go to the store and to have a little plastic and pay with that. And it feels as if things were given to you for free. So I started with one credit card, and this was with my bank. I was so lucky that I was able to get this card, and they set a limit for $300. And after that, I started spending just a little bit and paying it back every month. After that, I went to the store, and when I was making a purchase, they told me that I would get 20% off my purchase if I applied for their credit card, so which I did. Then every time I would go shopping at that store, I would use my credit card. Then at the end of the month, you get a bill in the mail, right? That's when things get real. The realization hits that you have to pay everything back. All the things that you purchased thinking they were free when you just paid for them, like you didn't feel that you spent anything. Well, now you have to pay it back. I started budgeting in the past year. My dad would always tell me, you need to save money, save. But that's something that no one really teaches you how to do it. At least no one ever taught me how to do it. Let me tell you guys how I started with this budgeting system. So I started looking up ideas on how to save money and how to stay a little bit more organized, which I have been trying to stay more organized with my cleaning in my home, with my meal planning and grocery shopping list, all that stuff, all that good stuff. So I started to look up ideas, right? And I found this budgeting system that has worked for me for the last couple of months, and it's also helped me save money. That's why I wanted to share these videos with you guys. And I'm hoping that I could help you guys to save money and to start budgeting, because it's so important to start budgeting. You can't just get paid and spend your whole check and then you don't know where that money goes, right? Has it ever happened to you where you get paid and you're like, I don't know where my money went? I mean, you paid a couple of things, but then you're like, all my money's gone. I get paid this much. Or let me put it this way. You get paid a certain amount for the whole year. And then you're like, wait a minute, where did everything that I earned, where did that money go? And this budgeting system is going to help you pay off your bills and also save money. So let me start off by explaining to you guys what you guys have to do first. First, you're going to get out a sheet of paper and you're going to write a list of all your expenses, everything that you have to pay for the whole month. Now, I'm just putting a couple of the things that I have to pay for. Well, my husband and we have to pay for rent or mortgage, water, electricity, cell phone, internet. You might have a lot of subscriptions nowadays. Instead of cable, they have Hulu, Prime Video, Netflix, all that good stuff. Now, later on in another video, we'll have to talk about that because some of those you might need to eliminate. But for now, I just want you to write on a sheet of paper, list everything that you spend. Like, what do you spend your money on? What are your expenses? What do you have to pay for? I have so much to tell you guys that this video is actually running pretty fast. So once you list all of your expenses, everything that you spend your money on, everything that you have to pay for the month, you're going to put a date. Like, when is the due date? When do you have to pay those? I like to put my bills in order. That's going to help you later on. That way you know what bills need to pay first, what bills can hold off for the month, like what bills you need to pay off with your first paycheck or your second paycheck. So please do this list and then write the due date. Then we're going to move on to our sinking funds. Now, what is a sinking fund? This is a question that I asked myself several times when I started looking into this budgeting system. Now, this is a fund where you're going to put money in. So you're going to set money aside to pay off debt or to pay things that need to be paid off like later on. The sinking fund is going to help soften the hardship. That way it doesn't feel like you're taking a whole bunch of money and then just setting it aside. It's pretty much like a strategic way to save money by setting money aside a little bit at a month. Sinking funds work like this. Let me give you that example. So every month you're going to put money aside. That could be like in an envelope or wherever you're going to put it aside. And you're going to put it in multiple categories to be used at a later date. With a sinking fund, you'll save like a small amount each month. And then that's going to be for a certain time. Okay, so you have the list of your sinking funds. For example, mine are Amazon, ABC Mouse, car maintenance, just in case your battery ever dies, or let's say you need tires or any maintenance that your car might need. So you're setting money aside. That way when the time comes when your car needs any service, you'll have that money there waiting for you. Yeah, you don't have to take money out of any other place. And then you'll have that money. It's kind of like a savings, right? You're setting that money aside. Now, Christmas is another one. You can set money aside. That way, when Christmas comes, you'll have that money to pay for the Christmas gifts. Now, I am also going to include clothing, which I used to put this as a zero budget because we don't set money aside for clothing because we don't really buy clothing. And I know that we should. So this year I'm going to set aside money for clothing, especially for my little one because he does need clothing pretty often. Now I also have gas as a sinking fund, groceries, medical. We have a very high deductible, so I want to start saving for that as well. And I'm also going to include our Boston Terrier. He's our little puppy. His name is Toby. I'm going to set money aside for him in case I need to take him to the vet or the food he needs or anything that he might need. I'll set money aside for him. I also will be setting money aside for savings, which is not much for savings. For this new year, I do want to set more money aside for that. I also want to include toiletries as my sinking fund because sometimes when we go to the grocery stores, some of the money that is for our groceries, I spend it on, like, I go over budget with our toiletries. For example, if we need some shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, Tide soap, or any fabric softener, that kind of thing, I want to set money aside for that. So I'm also going to be putting that in an envelope, which that'll be for another video. I want to share with you guys how I do the envelope system, how I budget that way, because that way has been so helpful for me. And I really want to share this with you guys. So let me explain a little bit about the sinking funds. So what I do is I write down the amount, and I know Amazon is a little bit more, but this is just an estimate, just to give you guys an idea on how to budget. This is just examples. That way you can use this as an example. So let's just say for Amazon is $10 a month. Now for a year is $120. So every paycheck I will be saving aside $10, $10, $10. That way at the end of the year, I can have that big amount, the 120, and then just that money will be set aside just for that. I also have a subscription. It's ABC Mouse, which my little one plays a lot. I'm going to be canceling that, and I do want to make changes to our budgeting this year. Has it ever happened to you guys where it's Christmas and you're like, I really don't have any money for Christmas gifts, and it can be pretty expensive? So I'm going to be setting money aside for that as well. I'm going to give that $10 bi-weekly, so that will be $20 a month. This is just an example of what my sinking funds are. Of course, yours are going to be personalized to what you need. A sinking fund could also be like a savings if you are wanting to buy a phone or a camera or anything that you would like to purchase in the future. You're going to be setting money aside, and then once you have the full amount, you can go on and make that purchase. I'm going to make the list of my budget. Now, this is everything that is in my budget. That way it's more clear to you guys, and you guys are able to understand it a little bit more. I'm going to also add the due dates, which we already did, but I wanted to add it to this notebook, which it was probably a mistake for me to do this with a green marker, but Hopefully you guys get the point. I'm going to put the due dates and I'm going to start from the first bills of the month and then going down all the way to the last bills of the month. So there's different ways that you can do this. I'm going to show you guys the easy way to do it. Now, you're going to write down your expenses. As I mentioned, we already did that. If you guys wrote down all of your expenses in the beginning, and after that, you're going to put the total. You're going to put how much is that? Like, for example, rent and mortgage. Like, how much is your rent? How much do you pay a month? For example, ours is $900. Now, for the first check, I'm going to be taking out half, $450. I'm going to be setting that money aside. And what I do is I put that money in envelopes, which I'll do that in another video. Now, for check number 2, you're going to set money aside. That would be $450 as well. But I will go over that with you guys a little bit later. For now, I'm just going to be writing down the due dates, expenses, and the total of everything. This is the way that I do my budgeting. This is the way that has worked for me for the last couple of months, and I have been able to save money. So please be sure to subscribe to my channel because there's going to be so many good videos coming up. I think they're good because they're going to help you save money, and we all want to save money, right? And I'm going to be teaching you guys the way that I do my budgeting, and it really has worked for me. Before starting with this budgeting system, I think I already mentioned this, we would just pay our bills the way that they needed to be paid. And we would do this mostly everything online. Now, I started to withdraw cash from the bank. That way that I was able to visually see the money, pay it myself. Now, this way has worked for me, and I had to tell my husband, please trust me on this. Like, at first he was unsure. He's like, I don't know about this. Like, why are you going to withdraw this amount when we could just pay everything online? But I mean, that might work for you guys. When I would pay everything online, I wouldn't know how much money was left over in the bank, and whatever was left over, we would just spend it. Like, we would go out to eat, or we would purchase things that we needed. We would go shopping and buy unnecessary things. Now, with it this way, I know how much money is left over, how much money we can spend, and this way I know negative in our bank accounts. Like, I know where the money is going, and I know that we can't spend, like, we can't overspend money that we don't have. I'm going to start off with, as I mentioned, writing the due dates. Then I'm going to write down the expenses. Now, I'm going to include my sinking funds on this list since these are my expenses that we're not going to be at. I'm going to be doing a zero budget. So what that means is once we get our first paycheck, I'm going to distribute the money, every cent, every dollar. I'm going to give it a home, which it's not like there's going to be money left over. Like, money is always going to go somewhere. So first, it's rent, cell phone, sewer, electric, our water, right? Those are the most important. Our car payment, trash, internet, and car insurance. After that, I'm going to be including our sinking funds, which I'm also going to be canceling Amazon Prime. I think I mentioned that already. Sorry if I keep repeating myself. I'm just so excited that I'm sharing this with you guys, and I really hope that you guys start your budgeting. I really hope that you guys give this a try. Like, this is no secret. I don't know why I never looked into this, but there's no secret. Like, anyone can do this. There's several ways you can do this. For example, let's say you get paid $1,000. You can pay your rent with your first check, but then you're only going to be left with $100. This is just an example that I have made up. I just can't stress enough the importance of budgeting, and I am so glad that you are watching this video, and hopefully you're going to start watching more of my videos or more videos out there that will help you guys get on a budget. It's so important to do this now. You are doing it at a great time in life. Don't worry, it's not too late. You're starting today, and I am so glad that you're going to start on this budgeting road to success and to saving money. I'm so glad that you're watching this video and that you're going to start doing it. I would like to thank each and every one of you guys for watching my video. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. If you would like to share this video with a friend, that way you can also help them start their budgeting journey, please share my video as well. Thank you guys so much. May God bless each and every one of you. I wish you guys the best on this new journey with budgeting. Take care, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.